On today's episode of What's Going On with Shipping, the Coast Guard makes a dramatic save, but there is a hook to this story that you will not believe. I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano. Welcome to today's episode. So, this is a crazy story on a crazy day. I mean, I just had a Chinese balloon, fly over the house in North Carolina, and F-22s shoot it down. So, you would think that would be the strangest thing that happened today. But no, it's this story off the west coast of the United States, off Cape Disappointment, where the U.S. Coast Guard saved, in a dramatic fashion, a mariner on board a vessel shortly after it capsizes. But that's not the end of that story, because this gets weirder and weirder as this story goes on. So sit back and relax and enjoy today's story. But before we do so, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so be alerted about new videos as they come out. Okay, let's go into this story. So this is a story posted by Mike Schuller over on G-Captain. Dramatic U.S. Coast Guard rescue in Pacific Northwest caught on video. And I'm going to show you the video and all the videos associated with it because it is great. But this is some incredible footage. But let's put some context to this. So what we're seeing right here is the rescue of a mariner on board a vessel that was disabled off Cape Disappointment. Cape Disappointment is right there at the intersection of the states of Washington and Oregon, where the Columbia River dumps into the Pacific. It is one of the most hellacious areas to sail into because the Pacific comes from east to west. It dumps right in where the Columbia River dumps into the Pacific. This is where the U.S. Coast Guard has their small boat training school at Cape Disappointment. The vessel in question is a 35-foot cabin cruiser called Sandpiper that lost power 6 miles west of the mouth of the Columbia River. The mariner on board issued a mayday on VHF channel 16, didn't have his exact position. The Coast Guard was able to triangulate the position and dispatched out a 47-foot lifeboat along with several other 47-foot lifeboats. These were lifeboats that were undergoing training. This is again where the Coast Guard trains their lifeboatmen. Sent them out along with an MH-60 Jayhawk helicopter to execute the rescue. And the rescue is dramatic. I'll show you some of the videos right now. This image here is from the MH-60 Jayhawk. The white vessel in the center there is the Sandpiper. The vessel in distress has lost power. You can see on the aft end right here where the mariner is. You can see him in black right there. This is the 47-foot motor lifeboat trying to get close alongside. It is a tough, tough sea to get in here. You're looking at pretty good size swells. At this time, this took place on Friday morning, right around 10 a.m. when they came out. They were trying to get close to do a ship-to-ship, but again, without power, this vessel was broadside to the waves, kind of what they call broached. So it broached to the sea, and it was just taking swells here. And you'll see the effort by the Coast Guard to get close with the 47-foot lifeboat. Pretty challenging seas, attempting to kind of back down. Again, several lifeboats in the area, trying to get alongside close enough so they can get the mariner on board. They were not able to do that. So instead, they adopted the process of lowering the rescue swimmer from the MH-60. This is the video from G-Captain, which cut together several of the videos that the Coast Guard have issued. Here's the perspective from on board the 47-foot motor lifeboats. Here's the rescue swimmer going down. Absolutely phenomenal crews, rescue swimmers in the U.S. Coast Guard. There was a very bad Kevin Costner movie, The Guardian, which kind of shows you it's kind of the Top Gun version of Coast Guard rescue swimmers. But let me be clear, Coast Guard rescue swimmers are some of the best in the world. Heavily trained, just absolutely willing to go into a crazy environment. They have put this rescue swimmer in the water. He is swimming toward the Sandpiper to get that crew member off, get that crew member into the water, and then hoist them up together. But as you'll see, a wave is going to come in and kind of change everything. And this is just a massive surge of a wave coming in that's going to actually roll the boat, and you actually see the boat capsize and then roll back over. You can kind of see the mariner get dumped into the water, and now here they are together. Somehow, both the rescue swimmer and that mariner survived that hit. Here they are coming into the cabin of the MH-60 on board. Okay, this is the CBS story that was released this morning. Man arrested after leaving dead fish at Goonies house after Coast Guard rescue. So the movie Goonies, 1980s, tried and true for Gen X movie, is in Astoria, Oregon, right near Cape Disappointment. And I shall read part of this story because, again, it is fairly unbelievable. A man rescued by the Coast Guard on Friday has been arrested by authorities after a bizarre incident involving a dead fish. The man, who had been identified as Jericho Labonte, 35, this was the smiling man in the middle of the Coast Guard crew there, was in the yacht on Friday morning. Heavy surf and rough waters rolled the boat and threw Labonte, 35, into the Columbia River, which runs through Oregon and Washington before opening up into the Pacific Ocean. It goes on here and talks about the rescue along with some of those videos I showed you. Go on here. Astoria Police Chief Stacy Kelly told the Associated Press that the yacht that Labonte was piloting was reported stolen later in the day Friday. Kelly also said that officers had been looking for Labonte since Wednesday. He had allegedly left a dead fish on the porch of an Oregon home featured in the 1985 movie Goonies on February 1st. How do you know it was Labonte? Next part of the story. Labonte had shared a video of the moment to social media, and an acquaintance alerted to police to the existence. The video also showed Labonte dancing around the property. Another person said that he had taken Labonte fishing earlier on Wednesday. Goes on here. How did he get caught? Well, the police recognized Labonte from the Coast Guard photos and video, but by that time they contacted the hospital he was treated at. He'd already been released, so the Coast Guard had saved him, taken him to the hospital. He's released. It's been a really odd 48 hours, Kelly told the Associated Press. Really? You think? It has been a bit strange. Labonte was arrested on Friday evening, according to a Facebook post from the Astoria Police Department. Police did not elaborate on how he was taken into custody. According to police, he was wanted on charges of theft, endangering another person, unauthorized use of a vehicle, and criminal mischief. He's also wanted in British Columbia, where he's from, on charges of criminal harassment, mischief, and failure to comply. These charges are from last fall. So I don't think the Coast Guard knew at the moment they were saving this guy that he was wanted for all this, I don't know, mayhem he's causing, leaving the dead fish on the step of the Goonies house. This is such a strange story, but I don't think it should minimize the role of the U.S. Coast Guard here in being the absolute badasses they are in heading out there to go save this knucklehead who stole a boat, found himself in distress, and they're willing to risk their lives. Multiple crews in 47-foot motor lifeboats and a crew in an MH-60 to save him. It just shows you how stellar the U.S. Coast Guard is, that it doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, even if they didn't know, they're going to go out and save you. I say it all the time. When people are running away from danger, they're heading in out of danger because of the sea and weather, the U.S. Coast Guard is barreling out, heading right into it. I salute the Coast Guard every chance I can because I think they're one of the most unheralded rescue services in the history of the world. I think they do such an outstanding job. And I'm not just talking about our Coast Guard, but all Coast Guards around the world, all rescue, lifeboat, you name it, they are unheralded. So whether you're in Great Britain, Australia, India, South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, and Brazil, Argentina, and you have a Coast Guard that does search and rescue, or a rescue lifeboat service that does it, you should take your time and make sure you salute them all the time, because they will go save the biggest knucklehead in the world, as you just see from this story right here, and save them. So I hope you enjoyed this story. It's a fun one to post. If you're new to the channel, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you'll be alerted about new videos as they come out. I can't guarantee they'll be as humorous and as exciting as this one. Leave a comment, share it across social media, give it a thumbs up, and if you can, support the page. How do you do that? Well, you can hit that super thanks button below or head on over to Patreon. You'll see a link come up here at the end of the video and in the show notes. Become a yearly, monthly subscriber to it. And if you see a Coast Guardsman, give them a salute. Thank them for their job. They do incredible work. Until our next video, this is Sal, signing off.